Yes, hello everybody. How are you all? So yesterday we have started a chapter. No, yesterday we have not started a chapter. We have started a topic called classification of data. Yes, my name is CA Yogesh, and we are doing standard 11th statistics, and I have yesterday taken very first lecture of the standard 11th, and today we will continue further. Okay, just let's revise what you have done yesterday. Yesterday we have done a topic called classification of data. What we have done? A topic called classification of data. Okay, in classification of data there were two kind of data. One was raw data. Raw data is known as ungrouped data. Okay, so your raw data is what? Ungrouped data. What is ungrouped data? The question seems like this. I told you that someone got 5 marks, someone got 6 marks, someone got 8 marks, and like this. This is ungrouped data. Then second was grouped data. In grouped data there were two headings. One was discrete frequency. What was this in discrete frequency? It was like this. Xi marks was like this 5, 6, 8, but there were one more column of frequency. I told you that if there are 50 students, then we will count how many students have 5 marks. If for example 10 students have 5 marks, then we will write 10 here. Suppose 12 students have 5 marks, we will write 12 here, and in this way we will complete this 50. Okay, so these are the perfect name. Yes, one more type was there, continuous frequency distribution, which was under number 2, grouped data. Okay, we are doing this, but the things you can see on the screen, ungrouped data, we will name this as, okay, we in each and every topic, these things you have to remember. Okay, we will term this ungrouped data as when xi is given. Okay, we have given our name to this ungrouped data. Okay, I'll call it at when xi is given in the question. So in question you will see only one column, that is xi, when ungrouped data is given. When there is a discrete frequency distribution, we will name it as when fi xi both are given. Okay, we will name it as when fi xi both are given. Okay, because in this you can see that there are two things, fi and xi. Okay, there are two things, fi and xi. So to discrete frequency distribution we will name as when fi xi both are given. Okay, you have to write with me. So take your pen, book, and write what you see on the screen. I have written ungrouped data, grouped data, discrete frequency. Yesterday these things you all have written, but today the new thing is just that when xi is given parts. Okay, this is our name given to this. Okay, whenever I'll explain you in the chapter, then I'll tell this is when xi is given, this is when fi xi is given. Now the third category was continuous frequency distribution. It's second one. Okay, second category is continuous frequency distribution. Okay, in continuous frequency distribution there will be class and frequency. Okay, I have taught you that class is 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, and like that. Frequency is 12, 14, and like that. Okay, so we will name this as when class and frequency both are given. Okay, we will name as class and frequency both are given. So basically I have taught you three types: when xi is given, when Fi(xi) is given and when classes and frequency are given. Am I clear to you? I have taught you three types. When xi is given, when Fi(xi) is given, when classes and frequency are given. Okay. So let's continue further. Today we are going to start with chapter number 3. What is name of chapter number 3? It is measure of central tendency. Now, what is central tendency and what are their measures? Okay, you have heard this particular word in 10th standard also. You have learned mean, median, mode. Okay, these are the measures of central tendency. That means these are the types of central tendency: mean, median, and mode. Okay, so these things you have listened in the standard 10th, but do you know the meaning of central tendency? What this central tendency refers to? Okay, what is this central tendency actually? If I explain you in very short, then you know how to drive the vehicle. Okay, you all may be driving the bikes, Activa or some other vehicle. You know that average of that vehicle. Okay, what I mean to average, that if you fill up liter petrol, then how many kilometers the vehicle runs? Yes, say for example your vehicle runs for we say that some says their vehicle runs for 30-35 kilometers. That means their average is 30-35 kilometers. Some say that their average is 50 kilometers. Say for example you have an Activa and your average is 40 kilometers. What does this 40 kilometers means? That means if you fill 1 liter petrol in your vehicle, then it runs for 40 kilometers. This is called an average. Now what this average means? Does it means like that every time you fill 1 liter and every time your vehicle runs for a kilometer only? Does it so? No. It's like that sometimes it runs for 38 kilometer in 1 liter, sometime it runs 40 kilometer 1 liter, and sometimes it runs for 42 kilometer in 1 liter. Okay, but why we call it as 40? Because it is an average. Okay, on an average it runs 40. Average means it can be up, it can be down, but for the sake of simplicity we call it as 40. This 40 is, you can see from the screen, that it is in the middle, center of the data. That is why this is known as central tendency. You got my point? That is why it is known as central tendency, because it is related to the center of the data. Let's take another example. Say for example 100 marks test is taken. Okay, and once you got 75 marks, once you got 80 marks, and once you got 85 marks. If someone asks you that how many marks you got, you will tell that sir, I got 80 marks. What this 80 means? In all the 3 exams you got 80? No. In one exam you got 75, one exam you got 85, but you will tell it as 80. Why? Because it is an average. This 80 is, you can see, is in the middle of the data. That is why we call it as a central tendency. That means any analysis we made from the center of the data. Okay, any analysis we make from the center of the data is known as a central tendency. Yes. So I explained you what is measure of, what is central tendency. Now we are doing what is measure of central tendency. Okay, measures of central tendency. What are the measures of central tendency? One is mean. Okay, you have learned these all things in standard 10th. One is mean, other is median, other is mode. Okay, you have done these all three topics, mean, median and mode. Then we have one more topic in standard 11th, which is known as geometric mean. Okay, some people pronounce this as geometric mean. Okay, this is geometric mean. So basically we have four kind of measures central tendency: mean, median, mode and geometric mean. Which four are there? Mean, median, mode and geometric mean. Yes, mean, median, mode and geometric mean. Now one more type actually is there in measure of central tendency called harmonic mean, but that is not covered in your 11th standard, so no need to worry about that. And now we will start with mean. Yes. Now what the matter is that whichever formula I will teach you, that means whichever topic I will teach you, let it be mean, let it be median, let it be mode, let it be geometric mean, all the formulas I will teach you will be in 3 stages. All the formulas I'll teach you will be in 3 stages. Which 3 stages? When xi is given, when fi xi is given, and when classes frequency are given. When xi is given, when fi xi is given, when classes frequency are given. So we are starting mean. First of all, let me tell you that mean is denoted by, it is denoted by x bar. It is denoted by x bar. So this x bar means mean. Okay, whenever I will write x bar, it means I am writing the mean. Okay, x bar is known as a mean, MEAN, mean. Okay, done. Now let us start the topic of mean. As I told you that I will teach you every topic in 3 stages. So let me start mean from first stage. Which is your first stage? It is your ungrouped data. We can term it as raw data also, and I told you that we will name it as when xi is given. Okay, we will term it as when xi is given. It is ungrouped data, and you can term it as raw data also. Okay, you can term it as raw data also. Okay, now when xi is given, what is formula for mean? Formula for mean is x bar is equal to sigma x upon n. X bar is equal to sigma x upon n. Now what is sigma x and what is n? So sigma x is total of observation. What is sigma x? It is total of observation. And what is n? N is number of observation. What is n? N is number of observation. So let me repeat the formula. X bar is equal to sigma x upon n. Sigma x is total of observation, n is number of observation. So x bar is equal to total of observation upon number of observation. You have to write this formula as it is displayed in the screen. So and now we'll disappear the formula. Do you remember what I have written on the screen? X bar, formula of X bar, you remember it? X bar is equal to total of observation upon number of observation. So X bar is equal to sigma X upon n. So first thing you remember the formula. Now what formula actually is, we will do it now. Okay, let's write in question. So this is the question. In question 10, 20 and 30. Okay, these things are given. What is given? 10, 20 and 30. And the question is, you have to find mean. Okay, you have to find the mean. So we are now finding the answer. In answer, first of all we will write the question 10, 20, 30. Then what we'll do, we'll do total of this 3. What is total of this 3? Is 10 plus 20, 30, 30 plus 30, 60. Yes. Then we will write X bar. What is X bar? X bar is sigma X upon, X bar is equal to sigma X upon n. It is 60 upon 3. What is 60 upon 3? It is 20. Okay, you got my point. X bar is equal to sigma X upon n. Sigma X is total of X. Total of X is 60 upon n. N is number of observation. From where I got number of observation? See, 1, 2, 3. 3 observation are there. So X bar is equal to 60 upon 3. X bar is 20. Okay, this is mean. Mean is 20. Okay, now let's take another example. Suppose in question marks are given. Okay, marks are given. Say for example, I have taken your test of 20 marks. We have taken 5 tests till now. You got 12 marks in some test. You got 13 marks in some test. In one test you got only 8 marks. One test you got only 9 marks. And in one test you got again 8 marks. Okay, this were the marks you got in the test of 20 marks, which was taken 5 times. And the question is, find mean. What is question? Question is find mean, and we are finding mean. Okay, so how we'll find the mean? First of all, these marks is xi. What are these marks? These marks are xi for us. So we will write xi. In xi we will write like this: 12, 13, 8, 9, 8. Okay, let us do the total. 12 and 13, 25. 25 plus 8, 33. 33 plus 9, 42. 42 plus 8, 50. Let me tell you that in your 11th standard you are allowed to take the calculator with you, so you don't have to calculate everything orally. You can have the calculator with you from now onwards. In 12th standard board also calculator is allowed, so it is legal. Okay, it's not illegal. So the total of x is 50. Now what we'll do, we'll write the formula. X bar is equal to sigma xi upon n. What is sigma xi? It is 50 upon n. What is n? N is 1. Okay, let's count. N is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 50 upon 5 is 10. Now what is this 10 actually. See, the question was given to you was marks. Okay, 12 marks, 13 marks, 8 marks, 9 marks, 8 marks. So this x bar is actually not only 10, it is 10 marks. Okay, this x bar is not only 10, it is 10 marks. That means that on an average out of 20 marks test you are getting 10 marks. You got my point? On an average out of 20 marks test you are getting 10 marks, and you always have to write answer like this: mean is 10 marks. Your every answer should be in sentence. Okay, mean is 10 marks. Your every answer should be in sentence. Whatever they ask you, if they ask you find the mean marks, you have to write mean marks is 10. Okay, this kind of sentence you have to write. You just what students generally do, they write only up to this. Okay, and sometimes they don't write even marks also, so that is not permissible. You have to write mean is 10 marks. Okay, properly in sentence you have to write it. Okay, let's take another example. Am I clear to you? Let's take another example. For example, we have taken weight of many students of your class, and weight was as follows. Okay, some students weight was 40 kg, some students weight was 45 kg, some students weight was 48 kg, some students weight was 65 kg. Okay, this type of weight was there. Some student was having 72 kg, and one student was having 50 kg. Okay, this kind of weight was given. You were asked to find the average weight. Okay, you were asked to find the average weight. So how will I find the average weight? What I will do, I will write the question 40, 45, 48, 65, 72, 50. Okay, so we will do total 40 plus 45 plus 48 plus 65 plus 72 plus 50. So total is 320. Okay, total is 320. Now what we'll do? Okay, you can check the total, and there should not be any mistake while totaling. So total is 320. Now we'll find x bar. What is x bar? It is sigma x upon n. So sigma x is total of x. It is 320 upon. What is n? Let us count the n. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total n is 6. So 320 upon 6. 320 upon 6 is 53.33. Okay, now this weight is in kg. So this answer is in kg. Okay, this is 53.33 kg. So you can say that your answer is like 53.33 kg, and you have to write that mean is 53.33 kg. Done? Am I clear to my point? Let's take one more example to make it more clear. Okay, let's take a plane x. What is x given? X is 58, 59, 62, 67, 83, 80, 75. Okay, let us find the answer. How will find the answer? First of all, we will write xi. 58, 59, 62, 67, 83, 80, 75. Then we will do the total. Let's test the total. 58 plus 59 plus 62 plus 67 plus 83 plus 80 plus 75. So total is 484. What is total? It's 484. Now we will write it in the answer. X bar is equal to sigma x upon n. What is sigma x? It is 484 upon what is n? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 484 upon 7, it's 69.14. So I can say x bar is 69.14. Okay, so what we have learned today, we have learned the x bar, and in x bar we have learned the topic when raw data is given, ungrouped data is given, in which formula of x bar was sigma x upon n. Sigma x is total of observation and n is number of observation. And what you have to do now, you have to take your textbook. If you don't have textbook, then no excuses, download it from website in PDF format. Your homework is you have to open the exercise 3.1 in which you can easily solve the first sum. Okay, so first sum should be solved by you. So next we will continue further. Till then, that's it. Thank you.